Man, I gotta introduce my city back again, man. Hey, let's get to know about
S to the T to the L. Y'all dudes don't know my state. This the city where I stay, where my head lay. You know we don't play. I'm talking about my home city. S to the T to the L.
Welcome to Let's Get to Know About St. Louis. I'm your host, CT. I would like to introduce you guys to Bebesbakeshoppe. How you doing, Miss Bebe?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I want to let you people know, explain more about you. So I'd like to start off by saying, what made you get into baking?
I actually lived in Santa Fe, New Mexico with my husband, and we joined a small church, and we didn't have any friends or any family. So one of the girls in the church kind of took me under her wing, and she's like, you know what, we're going to bake all these streets for all the single women in our church. And she's like, do you want to help? I'm like, yeah, I'll help. And so once we end up passing out these baskets, it was more so the reaction that people were giving just from the baked goods. The baskets were filled with all kind of things, flowers, candles, but the treats is what, really got people talking. And they just seemed so grateful, and it was just something so simple. And I was like, if I could get this reaction to people all the time, that would make me feel good. So I kind of just started practicing more and more. I went to school for it, and here we are.
Okay. What made you come up with the name Bebesbakeshoppe?
So, as a child, my childhood nickname was Bebe, which I hated. Growing up in the 90s, there were Butterfinger BBs. And so kids were cruel, and they used to always call me Butterfinger BB, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it, and but even now, 27, almost 28 years old, much of my family calls me BB, and so I just figured, you know what, I'm just gonna embrace it. I'm not gonna, be deterred about it anymore. So I just used it as my business name.
Oh, okay.
So now I get paid for it instead of making fun of it.
I want to ask you, what was you doing before you said, okay, I want to start my own business?
When I finished culinary school in 2018, I wanted to start baking more. I had already been taking some orders kind of as a side thing, but I was like, you know what, I want to do more. So I started working at a job in catering where I was signed on to be a lead pastry chef, but those were not my job duties. My job duties were kind of like, you be in the back. I know you went to school. I know you trained. You know how to do cakes. But you know what? I only want you to make dough, or I only want you to make icing. And it just got to a point where it's like, I paid for this. I labored for this. I went to school and I worked hard. And I know nobody is gonna start out on top, but the duties that I was given day to day was more like someone with no experience at all. And then there were people who had less experience than me that were doing the jobs that I wanted to do. And we would come in at the same time. We started at the same time. So it just got to a point where it's like, you know what, I'm going to do this.
Right.
This is what I want to do. This is what I'm serious about. And so I just kind of stepped out on faith, trusted God, and just kind of started doing my own thing. Yeah, just went for it.
Yeah, see, everybody got a starting point.
Yeah.
Thing is, it's just the start. I want to talk more about Bebesbakeshoppe. So what are the products that you make?
So we do a lot of custom work here. We do have the option to get your classic cookies, chocolate chip cookies, gooey butter, sugar cookies, snickerdoodle. But we work with a lot of custom decorated cookies that's kind of tailored to fit the theme of each celebration. We do a lot of custom cakes, wedding cakes, cupcakes, cake pops. We're kind of stepping away from, things like Rice Krispie treats and pretzels. They're kind of few and far between, so we just want to kind of focus more on the individualized custom work.
Okay. More of a popular brand? Is the pretzels not a popular thing? Or?
For me, no, because I've learned when you deal with custom work, if you give too much freedom, customers will come at you with very crazy requests. So it's kind of like some things they ask, it's like, yeah.
So I know 2020 just ended.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know, how was it handling a business and taking care of your family going through this pandemic?
So thankfully, the pandemic did not hurt us like it did a lot of small businesses. Bebe's being considered an online bakery, and we do a lot of custom work. When the pandemic started, a lot of people were canceling weddings, they were canceling parties, and so all of my cake orders were just like dead, pull the plug. And I did panic for a second, but then people got creative and they're like, you know what, we're going to have parades and we're going to have virtual parties where we're going to send gift boxes and hop online at the same time. So that's when I really got popular with decorated cookies, because you can purchase them individually. They're sealed, they're bagged. Cupcakes can be packaged individually. And so it just made handling easier to hand out. Nobody's blowing over a cake, you know, so it actually increased for us a lot. It was okay until the school year started. I have a small daughter, she's in kindergarten this year, and she's been virtual all year. She's still virtual. And so when the school year started, it was new to her. At 5 years old, you're not used to using a laptop. So it was almost like for a second there we were going to school together. And so that pushed me to a lot of late nights and early mornings. And so it was just really trying to find that common, I guess, I don't know. It was hard. Yeah. But it was hard, but we ended up finding a balance. My husband, he's in IT. He's a software developer, and so his job is like, you know what, you guys don't need to be here. You're not that important. You can do all your work from home. And so once he was able to be home, we kind of realized that his workload isn't that much. So he was able to help out a lot more with the girls, and that kind of made it so I wasn't a walking zombie all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you have that team partner.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, I wanted to ask you this question. I know it might be out of order. Between these national brands like Walmart, Snoops, and metro area, give us people some reasons why they should use small business bakery shops other than these national stores bakery shops.
Yeah. So, of course, with these chain businesses that you mentioned, they mass produce cakes and cupcakes and different desserts. However, they just give you maybe more of a flavor choice, and you can have a cake written on just whatever color you want. But with us, we do a lot of custom work, so all of our desserts are tailored specifically to that customer for that occasion. And so we're, looking more so to serve you as opposed to just putting out something general and generic for everybody. So we take into accountability people who may have different food allergies, and we kind of tailor orders around that. People who may, be diabetic, or people who are like, I don't need a lot of sugar, I don't want a lot of sugar, I don't need a lot of waste, as opposed to these bigger businesses just putting out anything. And it's like, here you go. We're thinking specifically about you as an individual, as opposed to just, most people like this.
Right, and it gives you a fresher product.
Yes, we always bake all of our products. Literally, it stresses me out sometimes, but it's usually the night before, not the very last minute, because we do take our time with your stuff, but it's literally probably less than 24 hours before you get it.
So we have come to the end. Anything else you have to say, Ms. BB?
If you guys are local, or even if you're within the United States and you want to shop with Bebesbakeshoppe, you can always check us out online at www.bebesbakeshoppe.com. bebesbakeshop.com. You can look us up on Facebook or Instagram at Bebe's Bake Shop LLC. And you can even follow us on TikTok at Bebe's Bake Shop to see all of your crazy creations come to life.
To learn more about BB's Kitchen, all her information be located down in the description below. Also, follow me on my social media at CTTV. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you won't miss out on more Let's Get to Know About St. Louis. I'm your host, CT, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
Let's get to know about.
Hey,
What?
thanks for watching CTTV.
That's what TV.